Hello, how are we all doing? It's Gavin again from Lucid Computer Solutions. Long time no speak. I have been rather busy over the last few months, hence my lack of posting over to YouTube. Lots of things going on with the business, spending lots of time with a new employee, and we've had a new addition to our family at home as well. So that are the reasons for my kind of drop off in uploading videos. Anyway, I digress. Let's crack on with this. So this video is in response to a lot of comments and feedback I got from my unboxing and first impressions video of my Dell Vostro 5415 laptop. Lots of people have been asking the question, well, it's a few months later, how have you actually been getting on with it in the real world? Which is a really good question. I like actual real world usage. Whilst I do mini reviews, I don't get into the full nitty gritty of all the tech specs because I feel a lot of it isn't relevant. It's how it actually operates and feels in the real world is the most important thing. So yeah, so this is my Dell Vostro 5415. You will have seen me unbox this a few months ago. If you've watched that video, of course. If you haven't, there will be a link down below when I do go through the basic spec of this laptop, cost, why I purchased it. So please do check that out down below. But yeah, so all I'm going to say about this, I will just very briefly just recap super quick the spec. So this has got an AMD Ryzen 5 processor. It has 8 gig of RAM and it has a 256 gigabyte SSD. That's the base spec. Like I said, don't want to get bogged down about the key additional feature, which I would like to mention because this is using it in the real world. One of the reasons I went for this laptop is because of the Ethernet port. As part of the technical work that I do here at Lucid Computer Solutions, I need an Ethernet port because I will often go out to customer sites to diagnose networking related issues, and I like to plug directly in using an Ethernet cable to switches, to routers, any other device. So that is super handy. So it was a key requirement for me. The second key requirement for me was a 14-inch laptop, which is what this laptop is. Now you may be saying, why a 14-inch laptop? That's because I don't get the number pad on it. I get a full-size keyboard without the number pad. And again, my personal preference is to have a laptop without a number pad. So I love the form factor, which also means it's relatively small and relatively light. Is it the smallest and lightest laptop around? No, it's not, but that's not a big deal for me. As you just saw then, when I opened up the lid, it was my BitLocker kicking in, but you see how fast it is to respond. Obviously that was already open from when I opened it a few seconds ago, but it is super quick. I absolutely love it. So 4 months in using this laptop as my kind of daily driver. So to give you some context what I'm using it for, do I use it all day, every day as my core business computer? No, I don't. I have desktop computers I use when I'm at the office, but what I do use, I still do use it daily, but what I'm using it for is perhaps if I'm at the office, I might just be sat at one of the tables using it whilst I'm having something to eat. I might use it around the office to set up some networking equipment here. But what I largely use it for is when I'm out at customer sites, as I've just touched on, doing technical work or taking notes with the customer. What I always use it an awful lot for is working in coffee shops and from home. Obviously, can't take a desktop computer with me there. So that is where this comes into its own. One key thing which I really like is the decent battery life. I want to say excellent battery life, but I know there's laptops with better battery life. But for me, I get between kind of 8 hours, maybe between 6 and 8 hours, depending on my usage. That is perfectly fine for me. That works fine because like I said, I'm not using it all day, every day on battery. I'm using it for a few hours here and there. And with that battery life, that works perfectly well for me. I can go, 2 or 3 days without charging it because I'm only using it for an hour here, an hour there, etc. So that works really, really well for me. One thing I really wanted to mention, having used it an awful lot over the last few months, The keyboard is fantastic. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you will know that I absolutely love a good keyboard. It's a thing I'm, a bit geeky about. I absolutely love a good keyboard. The keyboard on this Dell Vostro laptop is really, really, really good. It's a pleasure to type on. I can type super fast on it. I'm basically a touch typist, so it allows me just to flow. I don't have to look down at the keys or anything. Everything's where I expect it to be. Again, it goes back to me choosing a laptop without a number pad, so it's not cramped, it's nicely spaced. The kind of, what's the words I'm looking for? When I'm pressing the key, the kind of traction in the key is just right. It works really, really well. Now, is it as good as my Microsoft Surface keyboard, which so happens is also on my desk? Is it as good as this keyboard? No, it is not, but it's still very, very good. What you have to bear in mind here, the things where I've said here about, the decent battery life, the excellent keyboard, this laptop only costs £640. So let's keep that in mind as well. This isn't the most expensive laptop. It's certainly not the cheapest. It's a nice, solid mid-range option here. And in that price category, it works really, really, really well. So, do I have any criticisms of the laptop? Overall, no, not really. It's been an absolute pleasure to use, and I highly recommend, if you're interested in this, just go ahead and buy it. The only criticism I have, because I just like to think of everything, recently here in the UK, over the last couple of weeks, we've had some really good warm weather, bright sunshine. And I've used the laptop outside in the garden, and the screen brightness isn't quite good enough to make that really workable. Yes, I could see the screen, but it was very faint. It wasn't great. And I ended up going back inside and working on it inside. Now, two things to say about that. First thing is, I rarely would choose to work outside anyway. I just wouldn't. So it's not really not a big deal for me. Secondly, anybody who's watching this here in the UK knows that the bright sunshine days are few and far between as well. So not really a big deal at all. But if I'm being open and honest, which I always try to be, that would be the criticism for me. If you want to use this in direct sunlight, for example, sat outside in the garden, you may want to look elsewhere, because that is the only criticism I've got. I think the screen is really, really good. When I'm using it here at the office or in a coffee shop, it is perfectly fine. It's bright, it's crisp, the contrast is good. But yeah, direct sunshine, not so good. Some of the feedback I had on the first impressions videos, people were saying, the brightness of the screen is questionable. So I do kind of agree with that, but it was £640, so it's not going to be perfect. At that price point, you will always compromise on something, and maybe we're compromising a bit on the screen with this particular one. But overall, absolutely great, solid workhorse of a laptop, which is what I needed. I need a workhorse where it just works. I open the lid, it's ready to rock. When I enter my password to log on to it there, it is pretty much instantaneous, just a couple of seconds to get to my desktop where everything is that I need to access. Super quick. Typically I'm using it in a number of Chrome tabs, bit of Microsoft Office. For all that kind of stuff, the performance is superb. It's just not an issue. It just churns through stuff. I can't tell you how stressed the processor gets or how much of the RAM gets eaten when I'm doing that. The reason I've never checked that out is because I haven't needed to. I normally end up looking at that if I think it's going slow, and this is perfectly adequate for them tasks. So I think this is a great choice for businesses. I think it's a great choice for students. I think it's a great choice for home working. So please do check out the Dell Vostro 5415. Comes in at around about £640. Excellent, solid, reliable laptop. So there we go. That is my mini kind of update after 4 months usage of this laptop. Basically, my opinion hasn't changed. So that concludes today's video. Just a quick one today. Please do like the video if this has been helpful in any way, shape or form. It really helps grow our channel. Please do subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We release videos like this and different content as well all the time, so please do subscribe. That really helps us out. please feel free to comment on the video. Like I said, this video came about from comments from another video. I genuinely read as many of the comments as I do. I take the feedback on board. I get back to people where I can, so please do comment. And likewise, all the links are down below to connect with me via other social media channels such as Twitter, Instagram and LinkedIn. So that has been me, Gavin from Lucid Computer Solutions. See you on the next video, when I can stop the video.